Internal styles. What does that mean? So far, what we've been using to stylize our web pages is called inline styles, where we have, like here, we have a heading 1 tag. We say style equals text align center with a semicolon after it. So our styles are embedded right there in with the tag. And this, in modern web design, is a big no-no. People look down on you if you're a web designer and you do it this way. They go, this person does not know what they're doing. Okay, so you don't get ostracized by your web design friends. You probably need to know a better way to do this. Suppose we had this. Remember from our recipe assignment, we want to have all the heading 1s to be centered. We could do it this way. See how you're typing the style over and over and over again? Wouldn't it be nice if you could just say, for all the heading 1s on this web page, I want it to be centered. I don't want to have to type this over and over again. I hate typing. Programmers are especially lazy when it comes to typing. They want to type as little as possible to code. Again, just wanted you to notice that you include the same style statement over and over, but there's a better way to do this. So how do you do that? Okay, the better way is to provide the style once and have it apply to all the H1s on the page. We can do this by using a style tag to define styles for our web page. Now this is a new tag we haven't talked about yet. What's the style tag and how does it work? Let's take a look at that style tag. Well, where does the style tag need to go? Well, it needs to go up in the head tag. So this is a new head tag that we haven't seen before. So you start with HTML, you have your head tag, you might have your title tag in there, then the style tag. It has an opening tag and a closing tag. Now in between the style tags, we're no longer going to be working in HTML. We're switching languages. So this is the part of the web page where you have a different language entirely. In this case, it's cascading style sheet language. So the way you specify this is kind of interesting. You're in the head tag, you say style, and then you say H1 in an open curly brace, and then we can say what we would normally put in the style statement. We would put text align center. And what this means is that for all the H1s in this web page, I want you to apply this style to it. Here's the tag that you want to modify style-wise. These are kind of weird. These are called curly braces. They're right above the enter key on your keyboard, a little bit to the left. Shifted. Those are the curly braces. So you have to have an open curly brace and then your style with a semicolon at the end and then a closing curly brace. They're kind of like parentheses. Here's open, here's close. And then you close off the style tag. Things to notice. Well, notice that what we put normally in the style equals statement is now in the style tag above between the curly brace symbols. So we had this before, but now we have this extra stuff. And again, this isn't HTML, this is a different language. Now all the H1 tags in our web page will be centered, which is nice. What it will look like if you looked at it in the browser, maybe you're looking at the source. You see the head tag, style, H1, here's the style. And then down here, note that we don't have those style statements embedded anymore. Those are now being taken care of up here. Now let's look at the assignment. Here's what the assignment says. The assignment is to take a previous web ad, A5, and relocate all the style statements into the head tag. If there are only a few styles to move, add additional styles so that they have at least 5 HTML tags stylized in the head tag. So you can't just have H1s, you need to have lots of other ones. Now let's see if I did an A5. I'm going to look in my archive. So I'll open that up in Notepad++ and see if I have an embedded style statements. Yeah, so I don't. So I would have to go and add, style statements to this. Where would I put it? Well, here I have an H1, right? So maybe I want that centered. So we would say style, and we'll put in a closing style. And then the syntax would be H1, and then an open and closing curly brace, like that. See the curly brace? H1, and then curly brace. And I tend to like to indent them a little bit. Yeah. And then I say text align, center. Okay. And all I'm saying here is, I'm just saying that's going to be my style. I'm going to save that, and I'll see if my style, when I look at the web page normally, see now my heading is that way. So going back, what I did was I went into my web ad. Without this in there, like say, if I take that out and save it, and then I redisplay the page, you'll note that my heading is over on the left. But if I add in my style statement, and I save it, and hit F5. Now if I had multiple heading 1s in my page, all of the heading 1s would actually be moved to the center, not just the first one. So the idea here is that you want to go into your web ad and add at least 5 different styles. What else do I have? Well, I have this image, right? Here it says float right. So I could say this, I could say IMG, and my style, I could just say float. Let me try float left so that we can see the difference. Let's see what happens. Hit F5, still on the right. Maybe I forgot to save it. No. See, it doesn't like that for some reason. I wonder why. So when I have a question like this, what I do is I go to the W3 schools and see if they can help me figure out what's wrong here, because I don't know what's wrong right now. So I'm going to go out there to W3 schools. We just call it HTML validator. And what I do is I click on this one, validate by direct input, and I just paste in my page there. And I click check, and it's going to tell me all the issues that are messed up. It says error, image element must have an alt. What they're saying there is my image element, which is here, doesn't have a textual description. For people who can't see, this is really important to say what it's a picture of. And you can say gaming chair. And a text reader can go through that and see there's a picture there and tell the person who's blind, oh, there's a picture of a gaming chair there. Because for blind people, the web doesn't really help them if everything is visual and can't be read. Oh yeah, I think our problem is here. See, I left this style in there. That needs to come out. Because we moved the style up to the top. Refresh the page, yeah. So that was my problem. So I guess the squiggly line just means it's misspelled. Again, the thing I forgot is I still had it being floated to the right, and that's going to override what's ever in the style statement. So we got to make sure once we move it, we got to get rid of it down here. Now you're going to need 3 more on this. So here's a paragraph. You know, you might want to change the paragraph text to a different color. So you put in a P tag. And notice when you do this, you don't put the tag around it. You know, the little brackets, the angle brackets. And we could say color. We could set the color to green. Go look at our page. Now our text is green. So it's just like a style statement, but so you'll need 2 more. And you don't have to use mine, you can use your own, but whatever you want to change. I don't have anything else to really modify. I suppose I could modify the background color. So I could say body. So there's a body tag, right? Color. We'll say it's yellow. Well, no. Blue, maybe. I wonder if there's dark blue. Dark, no. Guess I do blue. Semicolon. Go and take a look. Yeah, not a great color combination. So maybe I go and make my text white. That's a little better. Yeah, so in the heading, maybe make the color there white too. That looks pretty good. It's not great, but it's not bad. Okay, so that's the process of doing that in the header.